base right now with quite a bit more than everyone else. Then Gyrocopter and Dragon Knight right behind him. And after that, the drop-off is quite a bit.
Yeah. They do have some pretty good counters against the top farmer, though. Again, Weaver, he's got a lot of HP right now, but his armor's really low. He hasn't grabbed any Agi items this game. He just went for, well, Lincoln's doesn't really count that much, but Radiance and Heart gives him a lot of damage and survivability, but it's not quite the same as stacking Agi items. So Meld Strike can put him really low in armor, and they could definitely burst him down after this. So Tongfu still has to be careful. Weaver is not invincible this game.
He's invisible at top. Looks like he's going to initiate on Joe, who's got a 6-second BKB, and
he's waiting.
Getting him to waste one of these. Oh, he's going to wait for the stun too,
that.
And he is completely dead.
Wow. He could pop BKB, but he can't TP from it, so he might as well fight it. Call down comes, power shot lands. He does pretty good damage there. Just such patient play from Mu there. He didn't want to initiate right away because he knew he had to wait for backup, and he waited until the TP was about 3/4 finished before he threw the stun. Just really, really smart.
If he had initiated on early too, they wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah.
Joe would have just popped the BKB and TP'd out. But he's like, well, what would happen if I wait this half second? If he's going to BKB TP out anyways, then there's no point in this.
Yep.
So either I get a BKB charge, or if I wait half a second, maybe he goes to the TP, and Joe smartly trying to TP into the side, but Mu waiting right there with him. And that's the great thing about Shadowblade on Dragon Knight.
So Ferrari's very, very close to finishing his butterfly, about 600 gold away, but I think he's not going to get it in time here. As we're about to see Tongfu go high ground. The evasion on all these heroes is really useful at the moment because we don't have very many MKBs in the game. There's a buyback from Gyrocopter. Going to force him into that one. Mu takes some damage. Burrow Strike on him. The impetus damage puts him pretty low. That pure damage is huge. His BKB started, and it's going to run out almost as fast as it came up.
Oh god, the birds were about to die, but able to save that out. BKB popped on Ferrari, so he's at 6 seconds. Joe's still got a 6-second BKB as well. And what's Dragon Knight looking? He's only got a 4. And How actually going to just go top now. And Ferrari, things are going to look really scary for him just because the Radiance burns his refract so quickly.
Yeah, it is really scary. He's going to have to deal with that somehow. I mean, at least he gets plus damage from it. In a late game scenario, the armor and the protection from it is maybe not as important. Vacuum's going to be burned here. That's how it goes aggressive on the high ground. I don't really know why he did that. Maybe Tongfu just
backs up and sends the Dragon Knight to farm bottom and resets and wait for the Roshan.
So where do you go next on a Dragon Knight in terms of an item build here? Would you go MKB? Just try to counter all the...
Maybe, or you could pick up a heart and become unkillable.
I don't know if that would make him... well, alright. Their main damage source is actually Enchantress against the Dragon Knight. I mean, he has so much armor at this point.
He's got nags too.
The pure damage is huge. Look how much armor this guy has. 11 plus 27. It's like 40 armor. Pure damage is absolutely what counters Dragon Knight.
It's 38, Kevin.
Yeah, you think I don't know that?
I'm gonna he gave me the most serious look.
I'm so insulted. No, anyways, Dragon Knight has a ton of armor. Pure damage is great against him.
Oh, and IG.
But I feel like he needs more.
They totally know this is happening right now, Tongfu, and they're actually going to come in.
Here's
the birds. Oh, okay, they almost just died.
Man. That was like 1 or 2 splashes there. They look for power shot on the high ground. Here comes the team fight. Do we have BKBs up for Mu? He does have it. He doesn't have his ulti for 10 seconds. Homing missile gonna land.
Oh, it's gonna land for once.
Oh yeah. You guys see that?
The most exciting thing about this game, screw those team fights. Homing missile is going to land.
Guys, Gyrocopter's almost forced to put skill points in homing missile, so I won't be able to complain anymore.
They're actually just going to send Hao in here to just do this. And if they initiate on Hao, I mean, he can always get 4-staffed. King J can always move him up.
He is losing some HP, though. Heart does not cover you against Roshan. I don't know if IG realizes. Yeah, they just put the trap down. They see what's happening now. Hao losing about 1/3 of his HP or 1/4 of his HP from the Roshan right click. So
it's scary, too. YYF is in position. He's got a BKB as well. Faith.
Love where Faith is sitting.
Yeah, he's got a Iron Shell procced on him.
The Sentry Ward fight, man.
And Hao just kind of going in and out, waiting and waiting and waiting.
Just killing the sentries endlessly here.
Do they have any left? Okay, they have 2 left, so they're okay. Ferrari going to throw down another one, and Joe, he's going to go in. Call down goes down.
BKB on Mu. They're going to try to snake it before they can get in there. Roshan killed by the Radiant Dragon Knight.
Faith is too far away with his ultimate. That does absolutely nothing.
Mu taking right click as well. There's going to be a burn through. Wow, Dragon Knight gets killed the first time. IG's winning the team fight. I can't believe it. All their core heroes are up behind on the side. Whatever.
Who's going to come back in?
Run. The cheese is popped. Something like that. Somebody just got a big heal. Ferrari's still right clicking, and Hao is doing some Radiance burn damage, but I think IG is just going to back up from this one. Tongfu's able to finish up Chuan.
How are they going to back up, though? Vacuum goes off, but Hao is going to continue to chase this. He's going to get slowed by this trap, though, so...
They do have a lot of movement speed, and the butterfly up on the TA is making him very, very hard to kill. And this is the timing that IG really needed. There's no MKBs on the Radiant team yet, so they have all this evasion, and the Radiant team doesn't. So their hard carries, including Weaver and Dragon Knight, just can't focus fire down people.
Yeah, the thing though is the fight I think was in Tongfu's favor. None of their big heroes died. They got 2 kills in return. They did get the Roshan last hit. And although they lost the Aegis almost instantly, somehow actually YYF took the cheese, I think.
Yeah, I did see somebody get healed.
Yeah, and he was able to pop that off at the last second, but IG, really difficult for them to fight now, especially with Hao being so farmed. And he's going to pick up a butterfly soon. There's the armor he needs. There's the attack speed. How do you kill this guy at this point without a sheep stick?
It's going to be really hard. Yeah, absolutely. They need an MKB on TA next. She actually picks up a Mask of Death. That's not going to give her what she needs.
It's cheap, though.
Yeah.
And it does give you some more survivability, and it gives you cheap damage as well. But at the same time, King J somehow manages to farm Scythe of Vice, despite there being like no farm on the map.
Well, it's been a while since we checked on his items. I mean, he has had 4 staff for a long time, so eventually that's going to trickle in, and you're going to have a sheep stick. And that's a great counter to the butterflies. I did check the BKB cooldowns a second ago. We have 5 seconds on Gyrocopter, and TA is down to 5 as well. So Hex becomes even better at this point in the game, because the amount of time that you're going to be magic immune is very, very low. So that's going to remove the evasion and allow you to burst down some of those important heroes.
Yeah, Faith in that last fight was just too far away to land his epicenter.
Oh,
like
was that what
he
happened?
actually channeled it out, but he was so far away from everyone that it actually did 0 damage in that fight. Maybe
That's
they
really
could have actually taken that fight. He was there for that. Well, he was there, but if he was a little bit closer. But Hao actually finishes his butterfly too.
Which one is Hao again?
He's the Weaver.
Dragon? The Weaver? Okay. Wow. So butterfly finished.
He's got 5 stacks. He's got a gem, 47 minutes. He's by far the most farmed hero, and the Dragon Knight is just behind him. What did he actually opt to go? He actually picks up the Vitality Booster, so maybe he is going for that heart.
Okay. So he's going to go for a heart, more HP. That'll keep him better against the Enchantress. He'll have more disables. His damage potential is actually really low right now. He's got 132 plus 40.
You don't really need, though, just because of the Frost Dragon, and the Weaver is going to be doing the most of the damage. So all you need to do is kind of buy him time and tank for him.
Might see initiation. Nope, Hao was going to back off. That was the Lincoln's breaker. Breaking the Lincolns. Bug's going to the high ground. YYF will take some damage. Tower's actually getting hit. Vacuum comes through, pulls him behind the tower. There's a BKB pop. Tower goes down. Zhou pops BKB. There's no targets, actually. There's the sentry put down. Faith goes Sandstorm and running for his life, but Hao's at full HP still, and IG can't really hold off on this. The bats are going to get resummoned again. Impetus damage, doing tons of damage versus the bats. Really nice counter there.
Ferrari does have his BKB up, but Zhou, he's got 4 seconds left. Muox actually popped his BKB as well. But in a situation like this, I think this favors Tongfu quite heavily, and Hao's actually just going to go in this bottom lane, continue to hit this tower, and force people to come to him. He is stunned out, but I think he'll be just fine. Vacuum misses as well. And there's another tower taken, so no racks taken quite yet, but IG about to lose all their outer towers.
Yeah, Tongfu's being really cheeky here, really pressuring all the sides. They're just kind of poking in using Dragon Knight and other heroes. His ulti's about to run out, so I don't know if they can still do this, but...
Oh, look at the chicken. Look at how much it has on it.
Oh my gosh.
There's a Shiva's Guard going to be finished on the Visage. That's the most farmed I've ever seen
and
on that hero.
That's a huge item for this game, actually, because IG has a ton of right clickers, and this doesn't even count the typical physical damage dealers like Gyrocopter and TA. This also covers Enchantress. It reduces her attack speed by 40. So as an int hero, I mean, this could be a sheep stick, but if he just stands in the team fight and stands close to these damage dealers, it's going to really reduce their damage output as a team. It's really smart pickup from Sansheng here.
Yeah, and King J going to fire a power shot down the line. Looks like they are going to go for this Rax this time. Just waiting on Moo's Dragon form to come back off cooldown. And that should be
They could just go high ground. Who cares, man? There's a burrow strike actually from Blink on Faith. And he gets forced away.
Is another rocket going to land?
Here it comes, guys. 1, 2. No. Oh,
never does, man. Never does. And Tongfu being able to split push, forcing IG in a really uncomfortable spot in terms of a team fight. Faith in the front lines here. That's not where he wants to be, especially if he wants to get his ultimate off. And
boy, they are
How going to go for the top racks, while Mu is strong enough to just solo go for this.
Hey, the benefit, man. The glyph blocks 2 buildings. Faith looking to channel his epicenter. He does get it off, but unfortunately not able to get close enough. No damage being done there as King J did force away.
How taking this top racks during this?
It's going to be picked off. Maybe there's a great burrow strike. King J falls. Faith going to get nuked next. The rocket barrage hits a couple of heroes, but now on Zhou. Crystal
and Banana getting his ultimate as well.
Mu running away invisible, and YYF BKB running for his life. Friar's trying to fight it, but the damage output's not enough. 3 dead heroes on IG. 1 buyback now from Gyrocopter. Top racks. Melee has gone down. Faith goes good game. IG played their hearts out there, did their best despite the major disadvantages, but Tongfu was able to take the game. What an insane game. I mean, that was so much fun to watch in cast. Like, the Roshan battle, there was constant pressure. IG was on the verge of winning team fights, and they had little timing windows with evasion and things like that, but it just wasn't enough there.
Yeah, that just felt like a gradual build-up, too. It was like, no fights, and then action, 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 action.
Yeah, it really did. There's not that many kills, but there was a ton of action because of how tanky they were. It was hard to kill, like, all their core heroes, and Tongfu had a bunch of tanks as well. Fun to see Weaver play a hard carry role and actually out-farm his opponents, but congrats to Tongfu. They're going to win Game 1. My force prediction of 2-0 IG is incorrect.
Yes.
Still holding out for my 1-1.
Blitz Dota, as usual, always correct, never wrong.
Never once ever.
I've never been wrong in my entire life. Nobody's bothered correcting me. So, Tongfu going to take that win. Please, Kevin. And, wow, if I had to list an MVP for that game, King J, absolutely phenomenal play from start to finish. Being able to get that solo kill on Joe at top 2 with the Windrunner,
we didn't
that
talk
slowed down
about
his
that
farm
much,
as well. And Ferrari as well, not able to get any sort of traction in this game. But before we talk this game to death, we want to leave our analysts some things to talk about. So we're going to pass it over to LD and Merlini. So what were your guys' thoughts on the game?
Wow, quite a performance there from Tongfu. A long grinder of a game number 1, but they take it in the end. And there was a point in that game, Merlini, where Tongfu took 2 awful fights. They took a fight at the Tier 1 mid of IG. They took another fight at the Tier 1 bottom. And it looked like maybe the game was going to start to kind of unravel for them at that point. But they solidified their game plan. They played more defensively. They angled for late game. And from there, they stabilized.
Yeah, all they needed to do was survive the teamfight ultimates and the Sand King and the Darkseer. I mean, Darkseer was really underfarmed. He got one nice vacuum off at the bottom Tier 1 tower, but after that, he didn't really seem to do anything. He got caught in a shackle and just chain stunned down by DK. I thought that Mu had a really strong performance as DK, and he could just BKB and just man-mode everybody. It was actually quite ridiculous. But
that poor Darkseer, I was like, man, he's still building a BKB 10 minutes later. He's still building a BKB. I don't even know if he got it in the end, but by the time he would have, they didn't have enough lockdown. I mean, we kept on talking about how it was just Burrow Strike, basically. In the homing missile, sure, you can bring the Lincoln Sphere of Weaver, but you're never actually stunning anyone with that in a fight. Unfortunately, that spell just doesn't do much aside from proccing the Lincoln. So I felt they really needed a Scythe device on Darkseer, but just died too much, could not farm it.
Right, Tongfu had some really nice rotations early, too. They didn't let Ferrari get off to a good start at all. He wasn't able to get a Blink Dagger early, and he was forced to go a more defensive build with Trez and BKB. Those were his first 2 items, and we didn't really feel the snowball impact of a TA, and he doesn't really scale that well with items. He really just needs to get off to a good start and just like start crushing everybody. But against a DK, they tried to gank him on mid, and it just like completely turned around for them. And after that, it was just a very slow death grind for IG.
That hero is so hard to kill mid.
I know.
It's pretty freaking insane. And also, I mean, was a fantastic way to deal with a lot of those heroes in the fights. You get the instant stun off on the Templar Assassin, the Gyrocopter, and especially the Darkseer. I mean, it was actually a Shackle Shot that led to his demise, and that was the big fight for Tongfu, I felt, was that Tier 2 clash mid where you and I were saying there's been no shackles this game. That was when IG was starting to get some momentum, starting to make things happen. But then he delivers the shackle, and the rest of the way, King J played.
Oh, that Roshan fight too, where they bought back.
Well.
Oh my goodness, that was definitely the turning point of the game. I was like, oh, it's pretty close.
That was such a confident fight.
I didn't think they were going to win that fight too. I was like, well, they all bought back, and CM's dead, so they're like going in 45. But then the shackle set up, and Weaver was just extremely farmed up at that point. I
was pulling my hair out. Not that I have much left to pull out. It's pulling what little I do, and for me at least, the jinx continues. I said 2-0 IG. They've already lost 1 game. I thought they still had a shot in that game if they just hadn't gotten picked off so much, if they farmed a little bit more effectively, and particularly if they got a Scythe device in the Darkseer and just more damage on the Gyro.
They didn't have any babysit for the Ferrari too. Like CM just kept like messing with her the whole time. And I mean, Enchantress sent a couple creeps, a Harpy once and a Wildkin, but after that, I didn't really feel the impact of Enchantress at all. And there weren't any early towers, no like wrap around the tower ganks.
End of the day, Dragon Knight has Dragon's Blood, was bottle crowing. I think even got a handful of runes with some help from the CM, and just couldn't drive him out of lane.
Once he got a BKB, it was just like, how do you kill this guy?
That was the other thing, is they had the hero that just jumps in and starts the fight in the Dragon Knight, whereas if your Darkseer charges in, he gets Dragon Tailed and he just dies. If your Gyrocopter TA jump in, they just get kited by the Frost Dragon slow.
If they get hit by a Dragon's Tail, like the fight's gonna go really poorly before BKB. So
and Dragon Knight charges in, everyone from IG just scatters.
And I think that Weaver could have initiated a lot of fights too. He was like extremely farmed. He had like 3,000 HP with a Butterfly, with a Heart, with a Radiance, with the Lincolns, and he just let DK do most of the work. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad move, but he could have played more aggressively. But Tongfu played very calm, calculated passive after the T1 tower dive in mid and the T1 tower dive on bottom. After that, they really gathered their bearings and just, surgically, methodically, just...
Surgical, methodical.
Yeah.
A perfect adjectives to describe their performance. English is a hard
language.
Very,
I mean, it was like a little bit slow paced, but it was still very strategic game overall.
Yeah. And I think for Tongfu, that's the kind of pace they want. IG, I mean, you mentioned, and you still often say that the Chinese teams are very kind of slow, stable, defensive.
Calculated.
IG is often one of the more aggressive kind of firebrand teams in China. They love their aggressive tri-lanes. We haven't seen them as of late. I would like to see them try and force fights more early, maybe go for an aggressive tri-lane, go for some more smoke ganks, try and put more pressure on Tongfu.
It's hard against Tongfu, though. Like, if you look at their 3 solo lanes, they have Weaver, very, very difficult to kill. They have a Dragon's Knight in middle with Boost Bottle Crowing, and then they have Windrunner up top, who was kind of like babysat early and got that
hard lanes
levels.
to gain.
Yeah, so Tongfu, like, I think they're just well prepared for this sort of strategy.
We'll see what IG do heading into game 2. They drop another game here, and they're now going to be 3-2 in the group stages. So they had that guaranteed inside track if they went out to take first place. It's no longer guaranteed. It will come down to tiebreakers. Let's see if they can take a game off of Tongfu. Game 2 coming up after this.
Hey guys, we're back for game 2 between IG and Tongfu. We just caught the first game. Really fun game to watch. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check out the VODs. Tongfu ends up playing through, spoiler alert, and winning the game. So pretty fun farm on them. Weaver got a ton of CS, ended up being the top farmer in the game. We saw a Dragonite as a mid-hero, and IG really did their best despite being quite a bit behind for the whole game. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of great performances overall. Faith on that Sand King.
Yeah, he held the game together for quite a few team fights with his Epicenter.
King J playing that Windrunner, and just overall, a great set of performances. I thought Tongfu had the slightly better draft. Just being able to pick a mobile lineup. And the best thing about Tongfu's lineup too was that they had sustain in team fights.
Yeah.
Like they could outlast you in the team fight, and that's all they really needed to do against IG's lineup.
That's definitely true. And they had a lot more stuns as well, which makes a big difference. So, all right, let's hop into the draft. We're into game 2 at the moment. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the Alienware Cup, sponsored by MasterCard and Alienware. This is Beyond the Summit, covering the tournament. My name's Kevin and/or Purge. Whoops, that almost never happens. And Blitz. I'm okay if you guys know my real name.
You can call me Will.
No, Blitz.
Nobody does.
Only
Even
Blitz.
Hotbit calls me Blitz.
I call him Blitz in real
Yeah, everyone
life
calls me Blitz. I
sometimes.
don't know why.
Especially when I really want to get his attention.
This game is brought to you by DPM Interactive as well. She's our event organizer. LD just said I was very smooth. It's my transitions, really. That's why they hire
He's
me.
talking about his legs.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No hair down there,
Zero.
but Tongfu gonna be banning out that Life Stealer once again first, and I'm a little flustered now. Nyx and Darkseer gonna be banned by IG. I'm so sorry, LD. I'll try to be more professional. Please don't whip me.
Okay.
And Tongfu's got one more ban to go. Let's see who they pick up. Everyone in this house, I'll have you know, all they do is try to make me feel uncomfortable. Like, LD will lie to me
gosh.
in a weird position just to see if I'll, like, bait and I'll believe it and try to make me feel bad. It's really crappy.
I don't even know what he's saying right now.
How am I supposed to work under these environments? I remember he told me, he's like, DPM doesn't want you casting anymore. And I believed him for, like, half a second. And I was like, damn, what did I do? Why do people do stuff like that to me? I'm such a nice person.
I have nothing to say right now. That was just, you took your soapbox and you ran with it, and it made no sense. And I'm happy that you had your moment.
How confused are people in the chat right now?
I am
Very.
hopefully less confused than me because I am blown away.
I just kind of ranted there. It was like an inner monologue, and I just kind of like.
Are we playing Dota right now? Yeah, we are. Okay.
A ban is finally out, so I can stop talking.
It was
There's
a Bat
the
Rider. Haven't seen too much Bat Rider. The hero is really good. Doesn't make it in. Lifestealer banned once again. They do
Those
not
are both
want to
YYF heroes.
Yeah, YYF plays insane on both. We actually see Darkseer ban this game, so Invictus Gaming doesn't get the first pick, so they're going to ban it out. And they get the Visage now. So, really strong support. We've been seeing it getting tons of kills as a support hero. And even in the late game, the hero is still quite useful, especially when your mana pool gets up a lot. I mean, if you just cast Soul Assumption every 4 seconds, it's like 400 damage nuke. It's like a Dagon 3 or something. It's really powerful.
Yep. And Visage actually going to be picked up first by IG, as you just said. Tongfu with 2 picks. You think they're going to go back to the Dragonite and the Gyrocopter?
I mean, Dragonite has bbeen really hard to kill lately. TA is kind of a counter to it, but is an easier to kill hero.
I mean, the Elder
Gyro's
Dragon
good.
form, though, the level 1 destroys her.
Yeah,
the
it does.
refract.
That is good. That is very true. Once you hit level 6, you have a lot of options against her.
Yeah. And I think Ferrari, too, got really unlucky that game. Like, before every team fight was about to happen, he just kind of died. So he was never able to be a part of that gold, and a fly just buzzed by my ear and freaked me out.
It's going to be okay.
Maybe, if you hold me, but anyways, so Ferrari, before he was able to get anything done, he actually died before both major team fights happened, so he was actually not able to do anything there.
Man, they're picking really slow today. What is going on?
Yeah.
They're down to 20 seconds, by the way. They burned a ton of time for that. Down to 18 seconds reserve, 35 left here. Alchemist is going to be their pick, so we're going to see a different carry today. I'm surprised we're not seeing Gyro every time. It is kind of fun to watch them change it up. But was am I mistaken? Was Mu the one that got the 9-minute Treads Battle Fury?
No, that
Alchemist?
was Yamata.
Okay, you're
on
right.
Zenith.
That was orange. Or
Against,
Zenith? Zenith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Against Navi.
Yamato used to be on orange. No longer is anymore. But yeah, he got an insanely fast Battle Fury last night. Unfortunately, not the same player.
Yep. And Alchemist going to be picked up first by Tongfu. The Acid Claw 2, absolutely beast, and Shadow Demon. So no Dragonite this time for Tongfu. I feel like I see that hero picked like every single time in the first 2. So
Dragonite?
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe IG goes for it. Not really one of those heroes that I see Ferrari on, but it's a hero you can't really ignore anymore.
Yeah.
Jeez, is it good.
Shadow Demon's going to be the support for Tongfu. Great disable there. Disruption is fantastic to save allies from nukes. Or if you already get stunned, you can burn down some of that stun duration while they're safe in some other dimension. It's pretty good. I don't know where the extra illusions come in. Like that, you like teleport them to some other dimension where there happens to be copies of himself, but then they only last for like 5 seconds when they come back.
Here's what happens.
I don't see the science. I don't know.
You know how it's like purple and stuff? It's a bunch of gum. You know, like just
Okay.
like there's gum everywhere.
Okay,
So like
everywhere.
you're enveloped
It's a
in
gum,
gum.
gum universe.
Yeah, and then when you come out,
Who chewed
there's
the
like
gum?
2 gum versions
Who
of
chewed
you,
the
and that's
gum?
why it's so weak.
Who chewed the
That's what's
gum?
happening. It's like a little mouth. The ball, it's like
Okay. Okay.
It's
All
like
right.
spits out.
I think that's right. I'm pretty sure. Did you
Wow,
read
the logic is flawless.
Do you work at Valve? Did you? I could have swore I read.
I actually
read
took
that.
a semester of physics at Purdue,
Did it involve gum?
and that's actually how I know Shadow Demon mechanics.
Okay. That's beautiful. Okay, cool. So Invictus Gaming gets their second pick here for the draft. Visage starting things off. They're going. This is like the slowest draft we've seen the whole tournament, honestly. There are even some matches where people have time penalties and things that had to draft really fast, but this is one of the slowest drafts we've seen. It is pretty huge, though. I mean, Tongfu is going to move to a 3-2 from winning the last match. Invictus Gaming also going to 3-2. They were previously 3-1, so they're at equal points right now. Whoever wins this match gets an advantage in the group and should be sitting about second. If I'm not mistaken, Orange is doing the best. I think they're doing like 4-1 or something, or 5-1.
How would they be 4-1, Kevin?
Are they 5-1?
It's best of 2s.
I corrected myself. Thank you. Is it 5-1? It's
Are they
something like that.
5-1?
Orange is on the top.
Wait, no, they have to play.
Orange.
Kawa, give us the standings really quick. It doesn't matter. Ignore the draft. Show us the standings for like half a second.
He can't.
Orange is
4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Okay.
So they're leading the group.
They're leading the group. Whoever wins this game, therefore, will be matching Orange, which is awesome for them. So, huge game here.
Yeah.
It's understandable they're being so decisive. And look at the weird pick they grabbed. They grabbed a Nature's Prophet as their second pick. And we don't see that hero very consistently. All right, he has drafted a moderate amount, but not a massive amount. And he surely isn't grabbed this early on in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Nature's Prophet all the time in the Chinese scene. He's
Yeah.
one of those heroes, if you can't get Clockwork or Darkseer, and you want a better split pusher, maybe less teamfight utility, but being able to come to fights early, push, and then the late game, you carry over so well just because you farm everything. I mean, it's a fantastic hero in that regard, but you don't actually see it this early. Because it is kind of a weak teamfight hero, and there are heroes that you can pick up before it, but IG not wanting to risk maybe giving it up, and this time Tongfu looks like they're going to get split push this game.
Well, I mean, there has been a lot of profit off lane lately. It is very good, and if you think about aggressive trialing as well, Nature's Prophet matches up pretty darn well against most 1v1 heroes in almost all situations, just because like Treant right click and Nature's Prophet is a great animation, he's got great range. It can work out